The first shot wasn't a beam. It was a silence. Every channel in Task Force Blue went dead for 0. 8 seconds as the Sorev's prediction grid bit into the spectrum and folded it like tin. Then came the real attack, guidance lances, bright as welders' arcs, threading across the dark like thrown needles aimed at the soft organs of the convoy behind us. Commodore Maya Rios stared past the tactical overlays to the tiny icons marked with names, school transports, a tug with a basketball hoop welded into its cargo bay, 3 garden barges that had never planned to see a battlefield. The Sorev called it culling. Humans called it mass murder. Commodore, their target tree is locked on the refugee ships. They'll ignore us if we stand off, said Commander Ibrahim, her ops chief. His voice was steady. The light painted him ghost blue. Rios didn't stand off. Signal the line, breakwater geometry. We'll go noisy. Ma'am, they'll read our play, Ibrahim warned. They'll read *** play. Let's hand them a different book. She flicked to fleet-wide. All ships deploy sea anchors and fake wakes. Think WW2 Foxers, bigger, uglier, louder. Sacramento will shepherd the tale. There was a beat where her bridge crew tilted, parsing a museum piece she'd dragged into a 0G fight. In the Atlantic, 80,000 days ago, convoys had trailed noisemakers to confuse acoustic torpedoes. In vacuum, there is no sound. But there is gravity, and there are sensors that listen to it. The sea anchors, gravidynamic kites, unfurled from launchers like silver origami, their micro-singular cores humming. They sketched false mass signatures and jittery acceleration ghosts, a carnival of fake ships dancing around the convoy. The flagship, CVX-88 USS Sacramento, pivoted with the easy grace of a city deciding to move. Her spinal rail hissed as decoys spat into orbits that looked ugly to human eyes and irresistible to Sorev math. Guidance lances swerved, adjusting to chase the phantom center of mass, and our escorts slid in to build the breakwater, a ragged arc of destroyers and cutters making themselves the wall. We were no longer a fleet, we were a shoreline. On Rios's holo, the convoy's tail nudged toward the passage we'd mapped through Vesper Field, a tangle of mining residues and derelict satellites that made clean shots hard and heroics harder. Ayoth Trell reports readiness, Ibrahim added, a small thread of hope. The Tselek captain's icon, an angular shape like a crab drawn by a mathematician, bloomed green. Our alien ally had a grudge with the Sorev that predated our species' first moon landings. Today, that grudge wore our colors. Tell Ayoth he has the left flank net. Use the baseball calls, Rios said. Baseball made no sense to Tselek linguistics, which was exactly the point. The Sorev prediction engine loved patterns. It hated idioms. Copy. Runners on corners. Pop fly to deep left. Ibrahim grinned, already coding the orders. Bright needles hissed through our fake wakes. One found a real destroyer by accident. Light and steel boiled off her bow, and the name USS Selena dimmed on the board. Rios swallowed the flinch. Duty was a muscle you kept in shape so that when the weight got cruel, you didn't drop it. Ma'am, Sorev Lance packages pivoting to Index 27. They've reprioritized for the Children's Hospital barge. The watch officer's voice was too tight. Pivot Blue 3. Put Sacramento between them and that shot, Rios said. And bring the hull harmonics up by 6. Let them hear us sing. The carrier's armor plates, printed in overlapping scales, thrummed. The harmonics kicked off micro-tides in the Sorev sensors, and their lances tried to correct against a ship they suddenly thought weighed 5 times its mass. That bought a window measured in heartbeats. Fighters streaked from the belly bay, jackals with white triangles stenciled on their noses and call signs that read like graffiti on a high school binder. Jax Wu led them out in a wedge, his voice joking on squadron loop because fear hates laughter. Line, this is Dagger. Pop fly received. I'll catch it at the wall. Since Midway, American carrier doctrine had married audacity to math. You accept you'll never have perfect information. You build a culture that acts anyway. Rios's father called it stubborn hope with a spreadsheet. She'd learned it at War College, then relearned it in the refugee lanes where proportionality and protection weren't abstract terms but faces with lunchboxes. Dagger, keep your max off-axis. Don't give the engine a straight line to learn, she said. Just war rules still apply. We defend, we don't punish. Copy. Defend like sinners trying to be saints, Jax replied, and his flight bled heat in bright fans that looked like sunrise. The Sorev learned quickly. Their lances recast trajectories, converging into a single tight spear that would penetrate decoys and armor together. Rios saw it threading every choice she had left. If she played safe, the convoy would die the way spreadsheets approve. If she leaned, the wall might crack and take Sacramento with it. She leaned. All ships, Blue Line Mod Echo, we're going to open a door. Ibrahim stared. We haven't tested Mod Echo under fire. That's why it'll work, she said, and keyed the bridge. Engineering, I need the tail ring hot in 20. We're going to fake a micro-jump shadow and make them overshoot. Chief Nguyen swore like a poet. That'll strip our coolant margin, skipper. Then we'll sweat, Rios said. She looked back at the convoy and thought of the Dunkirk little ships, fishermen, bankers, anyone with a motor and a heart, turning civilians into a fleet because the moment demanded a fleet. War was a civics exam you never stopped taking. Blue Line Mod Echo spun up, space bent just enough to look to a machine like a hole. The Sorev Lance dove for the shadow. Now, Rio said. Sacramento stepped sideways, no jump, just the taste of one, and the spear bit nothing. It slid past us into the fake mass ghost chasing the past. The wall held. And then the Sorev changed the game. A second grid unfolded behind their first, larger by an order of magnitude. At its center rose a ship like a black coin turning in a child's fingers. Its designation rolled across our screens, Asterisk Harvester Moon Asterisk. Commodore, Ibrahim whispered, they brought a supercarrier to a convoy fight. Rios folded her hands until her knuckles creaked. Then this isn't a convoy fight anymore, she said. It's a war for the corridor. The Asterisk Harvester Moon Asterisk brightened, and the horizon did something it should never do. It curved inward. Contact, Starlance charging, the watch officer said. Blue Line, Rios ordered, brace for a bigger ocean. We slapped patches over the breach in reality and called it tactics. The Asterisk Harvester Moon Asterisk Starlance drew power like a continent exhaling. Every sensor needle hit a stop and trembled there. Our breakwater arc pressed closer, overlapping defense fans until every destroyer's heat map turned white. The convoy ducked behind us, throwing off booster stages like a molting caterpillar, inching toward the corridor we'd promised they'd reach. Ayoth Trell's sloop of war skated across our left, dragging glittering nets of supercooled dust. His voice came through the baseball codes in measured syllables. Runner on second, sacrifice bunt. The Tselek had spent 16 hours with a retired Navy chief learning a game older than radio. He'd fallen in love with the in-field chatter, the way intent lived in jokes. The Sorev engine, fed on syntax, kept missing the soul. Copy, bunt. Dagger flight forced their interceptors into the chalk line, Rios said. Jax woo-whooped, pulled his wing high, and skimmed the dust nets. The Sorev craft chasing him overcorrected for phantom density and bled momentum into the field like a rookie stealing third in cleats too new. Our point defense chewed them without triumph. You don't cheer working brakes. The Starlance wasn't a beam. It was a promise, the straightest line between despair and surrender. It boxed space with predicted futures and then chose the one where we died most efficiently. Just war theory has a clause about proportionality. It doesn't have a clause for miracles. Rios couldn't answer the Starlance with bigger fire. She had adapters, courage, and history. Ops, patch me to the convoy, she said. A woman with oil on her cheek filled the holo, the captain of the garden barge asterisk Sunpearl asterisk. Children's drawings adorned the bulkhead behind her, purple tigers, a red boat with too many flags. We're holding, she said, which meant asterisk we're out of tricks but not out of heart asterisk. Captain, your hydroponics masts, can they jettison? Rios asked. Why would? The woman blinked then nodded. Yes, but that's our food. Rios tasted the cost and committed. Jettison masts into the corridor, make a forest. It'll confuse the lattice. We'll tow you later. We've built victory historically out of improvised logistics, church basements organizing bus lines for marches, high school gyms turning into storm shelters, Navajo code talkers weaving language into armor the enemy couldn't decode. The hydroponics masts, dumped into microgravity, unfolded like bamboo forests. The Starlance saw sudden complexity and erred toward caution. Its edge softened. "Chief Nguyen, how's my coolant?" Rios asked. "Mad at you," Nguyen said. "We've got 15 minutes at combat output before we start cooking our own teeth." "That's a lovely image," Ibrahim said flatly. Rios watched the asterisk harvester moon asterisk. Its escorts stretched out like the bones of a fan. "They're not used to fleets that don't yield the lane," she said. "We'll teach them the four-way stop." "Commodore," came a quiet voice over private line. Chaplain Ortega, who'd stayed on the bridge since the first silence. "Permission to broadcast a general call." "Make it short," Rios said. The chaplain's message rode out on the AM band, absurd and stubborn, a human frequency that had once carried baseball through summer air to fathers under shade trees. "To all non-combatants," Ortega said, "we are holding the line. Keep faith and your transponders live. Help one another, we will not break." Ortega clicked off. Ibrahim blinked against water in his eyes and pretended it was the harmonics. The asterisk harvester moon asterisk inhaled again. The Starlance's shadow swept the board like a second moonrise. "It's going to cut the wall at Grid Juliet," the watch officer said. "That's asterisk Roanoke asterisk and asterisk Inchin asterisk." Rios weighed steel against souls. "Blue 3, redistribute shields. Asterisk Sacramento asterisk will take first glare." "Ma'am," Ibrahim began, "we're the biggest. If the kids learn anything from today, let it be that the big stand for the small," Rios said. The lance hit. For a moment, asterisk Sacramento asterisk felt like a bell punched by God. Plates screamed, then settled, blistered, smoking. The wall wobbled, and asterisk Roanoke asterisk-S commander sang a steady cadence into his crew loop, a chain gang song smoothed by centuries. "Heave easy, breathe, we're still here." "They were, barely," Ayoth Trell cut in. "Runner steals home," he said, and his sloop unfolded a device none of our engineers had approved, a phase veil that made a ship look like a missing step. The nearest Sorev cruiser stumbled, momentum snapping its spine. For being whose species had been hunted, Ayoth showed restraint that shamed the room. He could have finished the crippled ship. He didn't. Virtue ethics says character is a habit. Mercy is a muscle, too. Jax Wu's fighter grazed the asterisk Sacramento asterisk-S shadow, vent flickering. "Skipper, we can hit their lance projector," he said. "We'll need to ride the rails inside the fan. It's doable." "Define doable," Ibrahim muttered. "Like threading a football into a mailbox while your neighbor swings a bat at your head," Jax said cheerfully. Rios looked at the fuel tallies and the faces of the convoy captains. "Dagger flight, hold." "Not yet," she said. "We don't spend a queen to take a pawn." The asterisk harvester moon asterisk adjusted. Its next shot would be smarter. Their engine was learning us, our jokes, our habit of flanking kindness with steel. Once they modeled that, they'd find the hole in our defense you could drive a state through. "Commodore," Nguyen said on a tight beam, "there's one way to throw salt in a machine's mouth, feed it a contradiction." "I'm listening." "We can seed the field with decoy pods coded as rescue craft, then light their signatures to look like massed reactors. To a human conscience, you don't shoot. To a Sorev engine, you don't ignore." "That's ugly," Ortega murmured. "It's also the only play that covers both rails," Nguyen said. "If they fire, it marks them. If they hold, we drive a spike into their projector while it hesitates. War is a seminar where you discover what lines you won't cross and which ones you'll paint farther back because children are watching." Rios closed her eyes for one heartbeat. "We'll do it," she decided. "But we'll do it clean. No live bodies in the pods, make the broadcast obvious. We won't trick anyone's conscience, only their math." The decoys spun like dandelions from our bays, blinking SOS. The asterisk harvester moon asterisk S lattice paused, tasting two futures at once. Dagger, Rio said, voice low, asterisk now asterisk. Jax's fighters knifed through the hesitation, and the asterisk harvester moon asterisk opened a second lance. The second lance didn't fire. It asterisk unscrolled asterisk, a line of becoming, the way a storm front looks on Doppler when every color means asterisk move asterisk. Two star lances, interleaved, made a cage. If they pinned us under it, we'd burn, not from heat but from too much certainty imposed on soft lives. The convoy shuddered as its lead tugs took the strain of a turn no one wanted to make. Two lances means two projection cores, Ibrahim said, fingers tapping at speed. We can't spike both with the fighters we have. We won't, Rio said. We'll make them choose. She pulled up the map of the breakwater corridor, a skein of ice shards, defunct satellites, mining tunnels, load-bearing myths. On the far side, open dark and the Allied port at Edda's gate. In the middle, the ringed giant Harpagus, pretty in postcards, lethal in person. Its magnetosphere hummed like a drum line. If we skim the ring, we can rig a magnetic mirror, she said, thinking aloud. We bounce their lance into its own shadow. Like luring an enemy battleship onto a shoal, Ortega said. The Royal Navy did it once or twice. To do that we need time and a tail, Nguyen said. And bait. Rios thought of Midway's torpedo squadrons, men who flew into a meat grinder, not because they thought they'd live, but because someone had to shake the enemy's hand at close range and make him look away from the real strike. Every staff college had argued whether it was luck or design that turned that battle. The honest answer was people, stubborn, imperfect, brave. We're not writing any names on marble today, she said. We're bringing them home. She keyed the convoy loop. All civilian vessels, this is Blue Actual. We're initiating an evacuation maneuver patterned on Operation Dynamo. You'll see cutters alongside you. Follow their wakes, asterisk exactly asterisk. This is not a sprint, this is a procession. If you can take on passengers, do it. Share air, share water. No heroics without coordination. We do this together or not at all. A chorus of acknowledgments came back, accents from 100 corners of human life, and a few that weren't human at all. Ayoth Trell slipped into the convoy's interior, his sloop sprouting tow lines like a spider that loved the flies. The aliens sang work songs in fractal harmonies that shouldn't have comforted mammals and did. Jax, Rio said on a tight beam, I need you to be a rumor. My specialty, he said. What's the story? You're going to make them think we still have a queen to spend. Drag them toward Harpagus. Show them heat. Show them rage. Don't show them fear. Copy, Dagger, we're going to go paint the moon. The fighters bloomed across the Sorev's forward arc, shedding flares and truth at the same rate. The Sorev escorts chased because engines that predict futures still respect pride. The Star Lances leaned to follow, and that left a seam, thin as a hope, real as geometry, through which the convoy began to slide. Engineering, start printing mirror beads, Nguyen ordered. We'll seed them in the ring. Asterisk Sacramento asterisk will ride the inside curve. Commodore, that's going to strip more paint than a hurricane, Ibrahim said. Then we'll look interesting in the after-action photos, Rio said. Her smile was as wry as rust. How's my coolant? Hotter than Texas asphalt in August, Nguyen said. But we're not teeth-cooking yet. On ops, Ortega highlighted a cruiser limping behind the Sorev line, scored, smoking. They took their wounded inboard, the chaplain said softly. They protect their own. Rios nodded. Most enemies do, she said. All the more reason to hold our line. We fight the tyrant's choice, not the person forced to carry it. Just war talks about right intention. It doesn't erase grief. Asterisk Roanoke asterisk S captain had lost 2 decks. He kept his voice calm, kept telling jokes about coffee. Blue Actual, he said now. If we peel to mirror placement, we won't make it back to cover the convoy. You peel, Rio said. We'll cover. Understood. We'll be the choir you don't see but you feel. Asterisk Roanoke asterisk answered and turned toward the rings with the slow resolve of someone choosing whether over fire. Jax's rumor worked too well. The asterisk harvester moon asterisk committed. Its cage tilted, pointed hard toward Harpagus. The second lance locked on dagger flight. "I'm flattered," Jack said, breathless, because flattery has always been a useful lie you tell fear to keep it seated. "Dagger dive," Rio said. "Lowest profile, treat their horizon like a teacher with a yardstick." "Copy." The fighters flattened their signatures and slid, bug-silent, into the ring plane. Ice boulders like frozen whales loomed and slid past. Behind them, the Sorev escorts spread into kill patterns. Rios felt the math reaching for her pilots and found herself counting breaths, not because it helped them, but because it put her hands on the same rope. "First mirror seeds away," Nguyen said. "Second wave in 30. "Convoy status?" Rios asked. 80% through the gate corridor," Ibrahim replied. Asterisk Sunpearl asterisk reports children counting aloud every 10 seconds to stay calm. The captain says it's working. Stoics say you control judgment, impulse, desire. You do not control star lances or whether the universe wants to bend like a hoop around your throat. Rios controlled this, the decision to stand between harm and the people who needed a porch light. A Sorev destroyer broke formation to pick off stragglers. Aoth Trell was there before we could blink. "Pop, fly," he said, and rammed, not hard enough to kill, just hard enough to break the enemy's angle. There are kinds of courage you don't have to be human to respect. "Mirror field at 50%, Nguyen called. "We'll need 2 more minutes for the lattice." "We don't have 2, Ibrahim said. "Jax has 1 or he's a memory." Rios looked at the asterisk harvester moon asterisk. Its machine mind knew it had us in a vise. Predict, squeeze, end. She lifted her chin. "All ships, message to the Sorev asterisk, we are escorting non-combatants. Your lance threatens protected persons. Alter course and stand down. We will not fire on vessels disengaging. Asterisk." "That's bold," Ordega said. "It's law," Rios replied. "And it's a mirror too." The asterisk harvester moon asterisk answered with silence. The second lance flared, a falling guillotine. "Mirror field at 90, Nguyen snapped. "Dagger," Rios whispered, not to the room, not to God, just to a young pilot with a grin too big for regulation. "Hold 1 more breath." Jax did. "Field set," Nguyen shouted. "Turn the planet," Rios said. We did. The magnetosphere's scream rose into Register's bones, remember. The lance hit the mirror and bent. For a heartbeat, the universe looked like a funhouse. Then light went the wrong way. The asterisk harvester moon asterisk S projector stuttered, and the ring beside us erupted, Sorev minds waking like hornets. The minds weren't nails, they were questions. "Why are you here? What are you? How fast will you answer?" They bracketed asterisk Sacramento asterisk and the mirrors with a lattice built to crucify certainties. Whoever laid them had intended them for someone else once. In war, you inherit other people's bad ideas. Point defense, strings 1 through 6. Ibrahim barked. Our guns woke into steady rain. Knives of light became sleet, became a hailstorm whose beauty you'd only admit to in a guilty, quiet room years later. "Nguyen, if we hold output, we can keep the mirror. If we drop, the lance gets through and dagger is confetti," Rio said. "If we hold, we'll torch our coolant and the flight deck," Nguyen said. "I can shunt through the tail reactors, but I will need to dump them after. And by dump, I mean push 2 small stars into space and pray they don't pick your favorite direction." Rios pictured the asterisk Sacramento asterisk without her tail, less a swan, more a mean, wounded goose. "Do it," she said. "We'll fly ugly." The tail reactors blew bolts and drifted free, tethered to us by power and ritual. Lines snapped one by one with percussive bangs that the vacuum swallowed but our bones imagined. Heat bled out through those makeshift suns. The bridge went 3 degrees warmer than 5. Sweat ran down spines, focus carved it into patience. The mirror held. The asterisk harvester moon asterisk S lance recoiled like a predator tasting its own trap. Jax Wu's squad punched for the projector in a diamond. "Dagger 2 is hit, ejecting. We have a suit beacon." Jax shouted, voice ragged. "Someone please tell my mom I did not, under any circumstances, take my hand off the throttle." Someone tell his mom he's lying, Rios muttered, and Ibrahim laughed a single relieved bark that sounded like survival. Ayoth Trell's sloop spun a web across our stern, catching 2 mines. He sang apology in Selec minor to weapons he disarmed like angry children. "We are almost out," he said, baseball code translating in the margins, *2 outs, full count, *. The convoy flowed through the corridor, a slow parade of stubborn vessels whose shapes would never look the same to anyone on this bridge. The *Sunpearl *S captain appeared again, cheeks streaked. "We have 83 extra aboard," she said. "My crew is sharing protein passes with the kids." "Copy," Rios said, bluff and plain, because excessive gratitude breaks discipline and courage both. She added softer, "Good work." "Harvester's second projector cycling," Ibrahim warned. "They are drawing from reserves. That means their escorts will get hungry." "Hunger makes people do stupid things," Ortega said. "Which is why you feed what you want to live," Rios replied. She looked at the board. "We could save the convoy and let the *Harvester Moon * limp away to cut another corridor later, or we could try to finish it here at a cost she couldn't calculate in clean numbers. Proportionality isn't a feeling, it's a ledger. It also doesn't hug you later when the names come home." "Nuyen status? Tail gone, core within spec. If we push again, we do it on prayers and duct tape." "Duct tape holds nations," Rios said, almost smiling. "Ibrahim, what do their targeting AIs hate most?" "Ambiguity," he said, "and being underestimated. Then we give them both, prep the Ouroboros." Nuyen hissed between teeth. "Skipper, that's a theory, not a system." "Then today it's a system," Rios said. "We seed a loop of decoys around the mirror field, each one spoofing the signature of the next. The AI will chase the probability curve into its own tail. When it tightens the loop, it'll focus the lance on the ring's harmonic, right where we laid the beads. Feedback cooks the projector." "It could also cook us," Ibrahim said. "Everything could cook us," Rios said. "But this makes a better story. Stories matter. They are the scaffolding we hang courage on. Ask the families who kept their porch lights on during the civil rights rides. Ask the Marines who took a hill because they had to believe the hill meant something." Rios didn't worship stories. She used them like tools. "Dagger, can you herd 3 interceptors into a box they don't know they are in?" she asked. "Ma'am, I was raised in Dallas. We can box a truck while arguing about barbecue," Jack said, limping his battered fighter across our stern. "Just tell me where the lines are." "Uploading," Ibrahim said. "This is a Navajo-level metaphor soup. If they crack it, I'll eat my hat." "Which hat?" Ortega asked. "Because if you stop making small talk, you start hearing the walls breathe." "Blue line," Rios called fleet-wide. "We're going to ask a monster to bite its own tail. Hold steady. Protect our non-combatants. If you have an opportunity to spare a life, take it. That's our flag." The decoy loop unfurled, rescue pods that weren't, each whispering to the next in a language designed to look like compassion to us and compulsion to them. The *Harvester Moon *S lattice pivoted. Its lance brightened, choosing the path of least resistance that was secretly a slope into a well. Jax nudged his trio of pursuers into the box, cutting corners so tight their engines howled. Come on," he pleaded between clenched teeth. "Be proud, be certain. They dove for the heart of the loop." "Now," Rios said. The mirror sang, the ring beads glowed, the lance met itself and briefly believed there were 2 futures where there could be one. Machines hate that kind of paradox. It chews their teeth. The projector's frame went bright as a birth. "Harvester's core is spiking," Ibrahim shouted. Nuyen whooped. Ortega crossed himself. Then all 4 arms in a Tselek blessing he'd learned last week from Ayoth. "We might actually." The forward viewport filled with a new shape, sudden and close, a Sorev torpedo barge that had ridden our decoy wakes like a remora. "Contact, contact," the watch officer yelled. "It's inside the wall." Rios didn't move. Her eyes went hard and kind at once. "Blue line," she said, calm as a kitchen table. "The wall just moved. We move with it." She pointed at the barge and made her choice. The torpedo barge came in low and patient, a wolf pretending to be a shadow. It had ridden the turbulence of our decoys so long that the computers painted it as friendly for a sick blink. Then its skin rippled and split into racks, dozens of spindle-bodied swimmers unfurling like seeds. Not smart torpedoes, stubborn ones. They didn't seek heat or light. They sought resolve, ships that kept station no matter what. Us. Barge is inside the blue line, Ibrahim said. Firing solution too close for clean rails. If we rip it here, debris will plow the convoy. Options? Rios asked, hating that the word felt like a coin flip. Harpoon and heave, Chief Nguyen said immediately. Use the yard cranes and the EVA winches, Coast Guard playbook from back when waves were wet. We grab it, swing it away from the convoy, and make it chase our tail. We'll take damage, Ibrahim warned. Hull stress on the anchors will. Remind us we're alive, Nguyen said. I'll reinforce with spin foam and prayers. Do it, Rios ordered. Ortega, open a channel on all bands. The chaplain's voice rolled out in the old AM again, warm as a porch light. Torpedo barge, you're inside a humanitarian escort. Cease release and stand down. We will secure you and render aid. You are not prey, and neither are we. The barge answered by baring more teeth. The swimmers lit one by one tiny blue glows like will-o-wisps in a dark marsh. The target trees blossomed with Sacramento at the trunk. Harpoons away, Nguyen said. Massive grapnels left our bays trailing cables as thick as a person's waist. They bit into the barges, plating with a satisfied thud that came to us as vibration. Yard cranes groaned. The carrier's spine flexed. Jax, Rios said, never raising her voice. I need a scarecrow. Copy, Dagger. We're going to look bigger than we are and dumber than we feel, Jax replied. His two remaining wingmen flared hard, squandering heat and dignity in equal measure, taunting the barge's guidance. The first swimmers corrected toward the mockery. Rios felt something uncoil in her chest. Ayath, she said, your dust nets. The Tselek captain understood without baseball. Glittering webs unfurled behind his sloop and drifted between us and the convoy. Swimmers hit the nets, slowed, and spun like angry bees in cotton candy. The ones that wriggled free came out miscalibrated, angrier at physics than at us. Cranes at limit, Nguyen warned. If I pull any harder, I'll uproot the deck. Pull, Rios said. The barge slid grudgingly into our wake. The swimmers pivoted. Their logic trees tasted proximity and choice. Humans have a law about not shooting lifeboats. Machines have no law against shooting hope. Rios refused to borrow their logic. Tail reactors, she snapped. We jettisoned 2 small suns. Can we *ring* the barge with them? Nguyen exhaled a curse that evolved into a plan. I can slingshot them on tether remnants and make a magnetic corral. It'll look like a gravity well to the swimmers, and to the barge like a wall. Do it, she said again. The freed reactors, still chained to us by telemetry and superstition, swung out in gleaming arcs. Fields kissed. Space between them thickened the way a road feels narrower when snowbanks loom high. The swimmers steered wrong on purpose and got right by accident. They curved toward the foe well. Barge is resisting the swing, Ibrahim said. It's trying to cut free. Let it try, Rios said. Jax, keep it mad but not proud. Copy. I specialize in irritating machines and uncles, Jax said, voice going light as he had his fighter do a lazy waggle inches off the barge's prow. For a moment it worked too well. The barge forgot caution, reoriented all racks toward Jax and spooled. 30 swimmers in a single belch. Jax dove. Oh, now we're dating, he said through gritted teeth. Dagger, break right, break right. The reactor's corral grabbed the swimmers like a strong opinion. They curled along the field lines, chasing the wrong hill, and then fell into the mirror geometry we'd carved in the ring's magnetosphere. For a half-blessed second, their logic looped. The pack split against itself. Some knifed back into the barge's lee and detonated, peeling plates. Others dove harmlessly into the cold ring. A few still hunted Jax, loyal beyond sense. Point defense, paint the loyalists, Ibrahim ordered. A beaded curtain of fire tore space into threads in front of the fighters. Swimmers popped like overripe fruit. The barge, wounded and confused, drifted into the corral's edge and stuck there, indecisive. Ortega spoke again, not to the machine but to anything inside it that was more than machine. "You are not dishonored by standing down. We will not strike you if you disable your racks." A hatch erized. A small lifeboat tumbled out. 3 Sorev forms inside, all angles and chitin, clutching one another the way bodies do regardless of species when the floor vanishes. The barge spooled asterisk again asterisk. "They're launching on top of their own," Ibrahim said, horrified. "Not if we write a better story," Rio said. "Nguyen, can we asterisk shove asterisk the whole mess? With what a miracle! With the cranes you said would uproot our deck." Nguyen's grin went feral. "Yes, ma'am." Cables screamed, the carrier lunged, the corral flexed. The barge scraped across the field lines and slotted into the mirror's shadow like a stubborn key finally finding a lock. Its next spool fired straight into the paradox, not where the asterisk harvester moon asterisk's own lance logic still gnawed itself raw. For a moment the enemy's sky went out of tune. Harvester's projector staggered, Ibrahim said, eyes wide. "We just made them choke on their own bite." Rios allowed herself one breath. "Convoy status." "Through the corridor, 96%, came the reply. Asterisk Sunpearl asterisk reports kids now counting by prime numbers because someone said it was harder. "Good," Rios said, because learning under fire is a kind of victory too. The bridge dimmed. A new light rose on every screen, the asterisk harvester moon asterisk expanding its lattice. But not to shoot, to asterisk seed asterisk. Icons poured from its flanks, pods fanning wide. It wasn't just a supercarrier, it was a planter. The field pattern matched a Sorev doctrine we'd only seen in simulations. Sunflower saturation, you don't aim, you deny. "They'll salt the corridor with mines we can't clear before the convoy tail reaches it," Ibrahim said. "Which means we move the corridor," Rios replied. "Move space," Nguyen said. "Move asterisk us asterisk, and the idea of where safe is," Rios said, tasting the next ugly miracle. "Blue line, we're going to unspool the blue line. We'll ride in front of the convoy, asterisk inside, asterisk the sunflower, and keep turning the safe into where we are." "That's Corbett, not Mahan," Ortega murmured, remembering a sea theorist. "See control through presence, not decisive battle." "History's a toolbox," Rios said. "We pick the right wrench." "Skipper," Jack's cut in, breath ragged. "Dagger 2's beacon is faint. If we don't scoop her in 2 minutes, she's a cold story." Rios stared at the spreading sunflower and the tiny tap-tap of a young pilot's life. She made her choice. "Blue line," she said, voice even. "We turn safe by carrying it. And while we carry it, we do asterisk, not asterisk, leave our own. Then we're going to fly ugly asterisk and asterisk righteous," Nguyen said, hands already moving. "I love this job." The asterisk harvester moon asterisk brightened again. "Brace," Rios said. "The next 2 minutes are the price of who we are." We became a moving sanctuary. Destroyers and cutters tucked so close around asterisk Sacramento asterisk that our defense fans overlapped like shingles in a rainstorm. We advanced at a walk, every sensor and gun angled outward, repainting the sunflower field with no one seed at a time. Behind us, civilian ships followed our wake marks like pilgrims stepping in the footprints of those before them. "Rescue window for Dagger 2 in 60 seconds, Ibrahim called. "Sunflower pods closing at 3 vectors. We can intercept 2. "Then stiffen your spine and pick," Rios said. "Ayath." "Already moving," the Tselek replied. His sloop wove through the field, dust nets spilling like silver kelp. "I will take the 3rd. "You'll get chewed," Nguyen said bluntly. "Mercy is a calculus we share," Ayath answered, "and also a superstition I like." He sang a bar that put courage in the air. "Ops mark a white lane," Ortega said quietly. "We're making a humanitarian corridor inside a battle. We need ritual as much as rules." A white cone appeared on the holo, and Rios recognized the old symbol. Flags and emblems outlive charts. "All blue ships," she said. "You see that lane, you keep it clean. Any lifeboat in it is hands off unless they fire." Like the Dunkirk little ships, 3 tugs peeled out to scoop Dagger 2. Tractor beams refused to lock, too much interference, so the crews went old school. EVA lines on powered reels, hands and suit jets hauling a speck of metal with a breathing person inside. "I have you," a petty officer murmured on an open channel as if the pilot could hear through vacuum. "I have you, kid." Sunflower pods drifted in. Our point defense threw beads. Aoth sloop rammed one pod with its hull and nudged another away like a patient parent steering a toddler from a hot stove. The third kissed his starboard fin. Lights died in that quadrant. He didn't curse. He sang louder. "Dagger 2 secure," Ibrahim exhaled. The cheer that rose died almost immediately as screens showed the asterisk harvester moon asterisk altering posture. Its pods weren't random. They were choreographing a spiral toward the corridor's mouth. "They're laying a noose," Nguyen said. "We cut it," Rios replied. "Jax, can you drag a strand?" "On 3 engines with a wing that thinks it's interpretive dance?" "Sure," he said and pushed his battered fighter into the spiral. He skimmed the pods, edges licking his paint. They followed slightly, then more. The spiral kinked. "Harvester is signaling," Ortega said, surprise in his voice. "New band, not their engine's voice. A asterisk person asterisk." The face that resolved was angular, insectile, and tired. Its mandibles clicked in a rhythm our translators had learned to call grief. "Human Commodore," the Sorev envoy said, "you have non-combatants in your protection. Acknowledge." "Acknowledged," Rios said. "We hold them sacred. You could try that too." A tilt of the envoy's head. "We request parley and exchange. We will retract Sunflower. You will release our barge lifeboat and permit recovery of wounded cruiser Nail *. In return, we will suspend lance use for 12 minutes and open a slot for your convoy tail." Ibrahim's eyebrows climbed. "They are on the ropes. This could be a stall. Or a moment of character," Ortega murmured. "The Geneva spirit has crossed stranger gaps than species." Rios tasted the ledger. Halting the lance would save hundreds. It would also give the asterisk harvester moon asterisk time to solve our mirror and finish printing fresh weapons. "Conditions," she said. "White lane stays sacred. You fire in it, deal's done. We will not fire on disengaging vessels in that lane. We'll return your lifeboat and will not strike the nail asterisk while you tow. In exchange, you pull your Sunflower from the convoy's path now, and you hold your fanatic captains on a leash." "Agreed," the envoy said after a beat. 12 minutes. The field shifted. Pods retreated like a tide obeying a moon. Our escorts exhaled. In the white lane, small shapes blossomed. Sorev med boats netting their wounded. They ignored us. We ignored them. Ritual and risk standing shoulder to shoulder, eyes averted like neighbors watering lawns after a bad night. "Why would they stick to it?" Ibrahim muttered. "Because they need to believe something about themselves," Ortega said. "We're giving them a chance to believe it." Aoth Trell drifted into the lane, shields low, towing a damaged human cutter. He kept his eyes on the envoy's icon and sang a bar from a Tselek funeral that meant asterisk the river takes and gives asterisk. The envoy's mandibles clicked in that same grief rhythm. 11 minutes, Nguyen warned. "Their printers are spooling. They'll come out of this fresher than we like." "Then we use the minutes," Rios said. "Roanoke Inchin, you're our mirror choir. Polish the field and extend it 10 more degrees. I want their projector looking into a funhouse wherever it points. Civilians, keep moving. If you can take on any more passengers, call it out." "Permission to say something ridiculous on Fleetwide?" Ibrahim asked. "Granted." "Attention convoy, if you have a planetarium projector, sequin fabric, or a disco ball, now's your time," he said. "We're going to paint their sensors with false dawn when this truce breaks." There was half a second of stunned quiet. Then the asterisk Sunpearl asterisk S captain came back, grin fierce and wet. "We have a stargazer's kit and 3 school theaters," she said. "We can make a sky." "Let's steal a sunrise," Rios said, and for a flicker everything felt like a civics class where someone passed a note that said asterisk we asterisk. 9 minutes. Sorev recovery boats slipped past Aoth with professional indifference. 7 minutes. The asterisk nail asterisk limped, 5 tugs on her like puppies, engines panting. 4 minutes. A red icon flared. A Sorev light cruiser, fresh, unscarred, broke formation and knifed toward the white lane, guns live. Fanatic, Ibrahim spat. Envoy, Rios snapped over open band, leash your own. The envoy didn't speak. The asterisk harvester moon asterisk S main battery flickered, just a taste. The fanatic's guns went dark. Its helm wobbled and stopped like a scolded dog. 2 minutes, Nguyen said. When the bell rings, they hit hard. Jax's voice came back breathless. We've got Disco, Skipper. The kids on asterisk Sunpearl asterisk are tearing foil like it's Christmas. Rios nodded to no one. Blue line ready on dawn, fighters ready on box, choir hold the mirrors. We will not be first to betray, but when the minute turns, we will be first to asterisk decide asterisk. The envoy's face returned. We will resume, it said softly. We thank you for dignity. Earn it, Rios replied. The white lane dimmed. The asterisk harvester moon asterisk smiled a predator's geometry. Dawn, Rios whispered. Light broke where no sun rose. From the convoy's ragtag hulls, planetarium lenses, theater rigs, and a garden barge's grow lamps lanced outward in a synchronized wash. Golden, cobalt, violet, time to a beat Ibrahim counted with a drummer's calm. It wasn't blinding. It was asterisk confusing asterisk. The Sorev engine, tasting clean discontinuities with dirty edges, leaned away from its own overconfidence. False horizon established, Nguyen reported. We have 30 seconds of childish wonder before it learns. Then make those seconds count, Rio said. Jax, box their skirmish line. Ayoth, slip your veil over the starboard flank and make a hole big enough for a promise. We moved. Fighters traced chalk lines across the field, turning Sorev interceptors into baseball players who hadn't learned how to read a bunt. Ayoth's phase veil bloomed like a silk scarf in a magician's hands, physics obligingly pretending not to notice a gap. Choir, sing, Rios ordered. Asterisk Roanoke asterisk and asterisk Inchin asterisk poured power into the mirror beads until they rang audibly through the hull, the deep hum of a temple bell 2 planets high. The asterisk harvester moon asterisk S lance fired into a funhouse again and came out thinner, wobbling like a scolded line. It went wide of the convoy and raked empty ring. No victory dance, just work. 12 interceptors down, Ibrahim said. Dawn is fading, their engine is rewriting itself. Then we give it a bad line to learn, Rios replied. Nguyen spool the keel shot. The chief went still the way craftsmen do when they are about to hurt something they love. Compressing reaction mass into a solid spike, he said. We stress the spine, we void 3 compartments, and we take out every spare coffee filter on deck 7. Coffee is a civilian luxury, Ortega said, sacrifice worth making. We fire from the keel so its flight path is under the mirror layer, Nguyen continued. If we time it with the choir, it'll walk their projector like a hand up a sleeve. Impact on the lens, not the hull. Fighters can't cover that path, Ibrahim warned. It's all us. Then it's all us, Rios said. She thought of Midway again, and of Nimitz's notes after. Asterisk luck is the residue of design. Asterisk they had both today. Skipper, came a small voice on a civilian band, we mirror your count. It was a child on the asterisk Sunpearl asterisk, counting primes again, stubborn and brave. Then count us in, Rios said. 2, 3, 5, 7. Keel shot hot, Nguyen said. On 11 because we're superstitious. 11, the child said, delighted. The keel sang. The spike left us like a promise snapped clean from a tongue. It kissed the mirror plane, bent obediently, and threaded the gap Ayoth had held. The asterisk harvester moon asterisk fired its repaired lance, and our spike met its lens like a hammer meeting a glass cathedral. Projector bloom, the predator's geometry cracked. They are blind, Ibrahim shouted. 30 seconds, maybe 40. Blue line, Rios said. This is our just war moment. All ships, do not target lifeboats, do not target ships in white markings. Hit only weapons hot hulls. Broadcast surrender terms on all bands. Ortega read the terms in plain language as we advanced. Disengage and power down, and you will be spared and permitted to withdraw under escort. Lifeboats will be recovered. Medical aid will be offered without condition. The enemy reacted in layers. A handful of escorts cut engines and held position, running lights bright with a sailor's stubborn hope. Others, cornered by pride or doctrine, charged throat first to buy their supercarrier time. We met them cleanly. When one shattered, we counted and remembered, not because it made us soft, but because it kept us human. On the asterisk harvester moon asterisk, new bands lit, murmurs of command voices we weren't meant to hear. The envoy returned, mandibles tight. Our core is failing, it said. We have wounded aboard. Then strike your colors, Rio said. We will not shoot you in the back of your courage. Your mercy binds you, the envoy said, as if trying to decide whether it envied or despised that. Exactly, Rio's answered. A warning klaxon cut the channel. Ibrahim's eyes widened. They're charging a self-immolation, not a scuttle, a asterisk purge asterisk. It'll seed the ring with hot shards and make this corridor a grave for a generation. Ayoth hissed, a tselek sound like tearing silk. They would poison a river to deny it to their enemy. It's been done, Ordega said, remembering scorched earth orders in old campaigns that had turned breadfields to ash. Options, Rio said. The clock ticked. We can finish them, Nguyen said. A full broadside will crack the core housing. Risk, chain detonation spreads the same poison. Or we can asterisk catch asterisk the core, Ayoth offered, voice a dare. My people nets, woven for the deep wells, can cradle things that want to fall forever. Those nets weren't designed for star hearts, Ibrahim said. Neither were garden masts for making forests in space, Ayoth replied gently. And yet, Harvester, Rio said on open band, shut down the purge. We will attempt to stabilize your core. Your wounded will live. This is our last offer. Silence. Then, very softly, we cannot be captured, the envoy said. Our doctrine forbids. Your doctrine is killing your children, Ordega said. It wasn't a metaphor. Rios didn't wait for the envoy to find language for shame. Ayoth nets, blue line, we don't fire unless fired upon. Nguyen, ready the tail lines to help pull. Jax, you and Dagger paint us a road with whatever you have left. Copy, Jax said. I have one flare and a playlist. Make it count. The nets blossomed from Ayoth's sloop, geometry so precise it made human eyes itch. Asterisk Roanoke asterisk and asterisk Inchin asterisk held the mirror choir in a hum that bordered on prayer. We slid the crippled asterisk harvester moon asterisk toward the white lane we decided was a hospital bed. Its engines thrashed, and then in a choice that would be told later in both our schools, asterisk cooled asterisk. Purge cycle dropping, Ibrahim said, but the core is still hot. If it cracks. Then we hold and hope and pull, Rio said, because this is who we said we were. Under the false dawn, a supercarrier leaned into a stranger's net. Brace, Rios whispered to them, to us, to history. Either we become a bigger asterisk, or we count a new kind of loss. We learned how much a net can hold. Ayoth's weave took the asterisk harvester moon asterisk's wrath the way good communities take bad weather, distributing strain until nobody breaks alone. Our tail lines groaned. Asterisk Roanoke asterisk's frame cracked in 3 places and kept singing. The mirror beads dimmed one by one like a town shutting porch lights at midnight. And still the supercarrier slid into the white lane, shedding heat in auroras that made even our tired crews stop and stare. Core temperature stabilizing, Nguyen said, voice flat with disbelief. I don't know whether to write a paper or a hymn. Write both, Ordega murmured. The convoy flowed past us. Garden barges scorched, school transports with new chalk drawings over the old, tugs tugging like their lives were verbs. Each ship pinged a thank you that our systems translated into pips on the board. We didn't answer. We were busy not letting a star hurt children. The envoy returned. It looked smaller now, as if duty had hollowed a center and let light in. We accept escort under your terms, it said. We acknowledge protected persons. We acknowledge your flag. Rios nodded once. Then we move together to Edda's gate, your vessels in the white lane. Any who fire from either side will answer to me. Authority is a fire you carry in a bowl, Ortega said softly, half to Rios, half to the past. You walk carefully so it lights the way and doesn't burn the house. We moved. Fighters circled like dogs turned shepherd, keeping curious scavengers off the column. A rescue craft from Sunpearl delivered hot broth to a Tselek tech with burned fingers. A Sorev medboat stitched a human deckhand's torn suit and patted her shoulder with clinical awkwardness. Small mercies made a bridge faster than treaties do. "Skipper," Jax said, voice lighter than it had any right to be. "Dagger 2 is on deck, complaining about the quality of the rescue snacks." "Have her file a formal grievance," Rios said, holding back the laugh like a secret you keep to make later sweeter. We counted what we could count. Selena**'s name stayed dim. 16 other hulls would need months of print and love. We logged the Sorev ships that had obeyed the lane and those that had not. We added 2 lines to a doctrine manual that would save strangers we would never meet. This is the ledgers humans keep, numbers and promises, side by side. At Edda's gate, the dockmasters stared and then started moving like ants in a kicked hill. Lanes opened. Tenders swarmed. The harvester Moon cradled in Ayoth's net, slid into a quarantine berth under watch and offer both. We'd won a corridor and inherited an argument that would take years to adjudicate. That's what victory feels like if you're honest. Rios finally unbuckled from the chair she'd become. She stood on the bridge that smelled of heat and tired joy and looked at her people. "Blue line," she said on Fleetwide. "You did the work. If anyone asks how we did it, tell them we kept our promises loud and our engines louder." Nguyen leaned back, eyes closed. "I'm going to sleep for a week and then write that paper hymn." "Put my name second," Ibrahim said. "I did the disco math." Ortega stepped close. "You carried the bowl well," he told Rios. She thought of the lessons braided through the last day. Midway's residue of design, Dunkirk's democracy of boats, Navajo code talkers' proof that language can be armor, the civil rights buses that turned roads into moral arteries. She thought of Ayoth's song, of a child counting primes into a radio because someone said it would help, and of a supercarrier deciding doctrine could bend for a heartbeat without breaking a people. "We didn't do it alone," she said. "We never do." Ayoth Trell appeared on the holo, 4 arms in salute. "We have shared a river," he said. "Let us name it." "Porchlight Corridor," Ortega suggested, because people followed it in the dark. The dockmasters logged it. Maps change in an instant if enough hands push a pencil. Later, in a quiet slice of borrowed night at Edda's gate, Rios recorded messages. To Selena***'s families about steadiness and names that don't dim. To the convoy captains about gardens replanted and school plays rescheduled. To the Sorev envoy about procedures for prisoner exchange and medical visits, drafted in law and mercy both. To the fleet staff, a report with footnotes, because ethics without paperwork becomes myth. Her last call was patched to a Dallas number. Jax's mother answered with a gasp halfway between scold and prayer. He leaned into frame with a sheepish smile and Roman 4 taped to his arm. "Ma," he said, "I did not take my hand off the throttle." His mother's laugh sounded like home in any language. "You're coming home for real food," she said, and then, because mothers do logistics better than admirals, began listing groceries. When Rios finally stepped off the bridge, the dock's huge windows framed the ringed giant harpagus, and the convoy and the harvester Moon asleep in its borrowed cradle. A porchlight corridor glittered through the dark, a line made not by one beam but by 1,000 modest bulbs. War had asked the old question again. What do you owe strangers? Humanity's answer hadn't been poetry. It had been practice. We did not break. We made a bigger and we learned again that hope isn't a mood. It's a movement, people, ships, nets, mirrors, a child counting out a sunrise only we could see. "Blue line," Rios whispered to the quiet deck that remembered everything. "Stand down." Outside, the safe kept moving anyway.